So I'm pretty excited about this review, and a lot of you know that I play around with a lot of different microphone setups, from XLRs to USB mics to shotguns to different, cardioid, a lot of wireless ones, and a lot of them, the majority of them, are pretty budget friendly. So this one kind of gets outside of our world a little bit. This is, and I don't want to say it's expensive. It is definitely a professional grade little wireless mic system, and it's kind of cool because it's one receiver, two transmitters. And this one's from a company called HollyLand, and this is the Lark 150. I've done a review of the HollyLand wireless transmitter for HDMI. Fantastic. I've actually used it a fair bit. Works flawlessly, does exactly everything that it should do. And when HollyLand approached me, which they did, and asked if I'd like to do a review for this, I was like, yeah, because that's kind of sweet. And there's a couple things that I actually really like about it. Now, this is not going to be a technical review because there's tons of specs out there if you want to go to HollyLand's site and take a look. I'm sure you can read all the tech stuff just as well as I can read it to you. But what we're going to do is take a look again at what comes in the physical box. We'll take a look a little bit at their Amazon website just to see what they have to say. And of course, we're going to try it out. So we are just going to try a single unit just to see what the quality is like, because sadly, I'm here by myself. Yep. And that's all coming up. Exciting times. Okay guys, so here is the Amazon. So this is Amazon.com, just so you can get some pricing. So Amazon.com has these for $329 US, as you can see here. On Amazon Canada, where I'm located, $429. These are really new. I believe they only came out at the end of 2020, December, I believe it was. Amazon.com though, right now, three reviews, 5 stars. And if these sound as good as I hope they'll sound, then this should be a nice kit. Just realize this is not necessarily a budget. For those that are on a budget, this is for someone that's like myself, that does this, probably makes some money, or you're a hobbyist that just says, you know what, audio is important, which it should be. All right, here's the box. HollyLand Lark 150, 150-foot clip-on wireless microphone system. Very nice. Look on the back. Not a lot there. Omnidirectional. 10 millisecond ultra low latency. 2 transmitters with 1 receiver, and mono and stereo modes. Again, we're just gonna connect it, see how it works, because I don't want this video to be like 900 hours long, and I'm sure you guys don't either. So let's crack it open. Now there's a few things really that I'm kind of interested with this. So what do you get here? An after sales card. Cool. Let's keep in touch. I like that. Let's keep in touch. You do get a nice little manual, Lark 150, and it's a decent size, which means everything inside here is very legible. Again, huge perk, because I love when companies send you a manual and you're like, what does that even say? Nope, this is good. So that's a win. I like that. And before we get into the actual wireless setup, we do get, it's nicely laid out though, nice little accessory pack here. Let's see what comes in here. My guess would be all the charging cables, etc., etc. So, oh, we get a bag. Okay, nice. And what I like about this is they were nice enough to be like, hey, let's put all the accessories in the bag for you already. So let's just move that for a minute. That's smart, because a lot of them are like, here's a bag, here's all your cables just out and about. Nope, let's put them in the bag. That's what the bag's for. All right, so we get USB-C to USB-A cable, and that's a nice thick cable too. So they didn't cheap out. That's a good thick cable. Awesome. You get a wind muff, 1 wind muff, maybe 2 wind muffs. Good, 2 wind muffs, because you got 2 transmitters. You got a little TRS cable. Good. So I'm guessing this is going to go from camera to receiver, because you only got 1. And there's two little packs here. So these would be, my guess, for the receivers. So these are gonna be little lavalier mics if you choose to use a lavalier mics. They also both come with a little, like a little windsock with a spare, each of them, and a little tie clip. So that's all right. That's good, because sometimes we don't want that big, you know, that boxy thing, you know, sitting there. We just want a little lav because we want to be a little bit more discreet. Or we're in a scenario where we don't care, right? So you got best of both worlds. I like the fact that these came with those and a bag, right? HollyLand, HollyLand. Here it is. You guys can see it. HollyLand. And this is the star of the show. And this is what I love. I'm gonna say it. I love it. So think about the very first time you saw AirPods, right? Their own little kind of like charging case. You're like, what a great idea! Something that you put the earbuds in that will charge them when you're out and about. And up until now, all these little wireless, I want to say wireless little box mics, right? Because they're all these little cube style mics. They've all come and they come with micro USBs or USB-C cables to charge each, but you got to charge this one and charge this one, and this piece is floating around over here, etc., etc. Oh no, no. Look at this. It has a box. This charges, so you can charge the box up, which is awesome. I don't know if it says how long here. Okay, here we go. Convenient charger case. The working time of the transmitter is 4.5 hours. The receiver is 7.5 hours, and the charging case can extend the working time up to 18 hours. So that's awesome, because let's say you're doing a shoot and you go for lunch. You just pop everything back in here. You're traveling from one location to another location. Just pop them in here, because here we go, right? Open them up. Look at that. Come on now. You guys can see that. What an awesome little setup. So you got everything in here. You got your two little, and look, as soon as I pop one out, the light came on. It's like, yeah. And you can see the little spots on the bottom, and they automatically powered as soon as I took it out of the spot. They're magnetic, so they just kind of snap right in. This has got its charging light on. This has got its charging light. That's all lit up, saying, look at that, how charged everything is. Transmitter, charged. Receiver, charged. Transmitter, charged. I know everything's going on. This, I don't know why anybody else hasn't thought of this. This is probably the smartest thing I've seen. 2021, gonna be a great year. At least great year for wireless mics, I think. HollyLand, very cool. So you got the two pieces. This, we'll take this right out. As soon as you turn it on, right, you see you get these two little monos just pop up. You know, you got all your mutes, so these are the two channels. Little belt clip or clip that's going to go in your cold shoe. So if you have a camera, wish I had a camera here, this would just go into the cold shoe of it, so it sits there. You can have it facing whichever way you want. So if you got the camera like me facing me, I'd have it this way, so the knobs are facing me and I can see the little screen, which is cool. If you're working behind the camera, of course, you can fire it that way. Just have it sitting there mounted. Very nice. And let's see these. Let's just take one out. This one here, they're small. Like that's a nice small size. So no screen on here, but you can see it instantly came up here, right? Shows a little input. You got a little input, which is great. If I put this on this camera here, this is showing. Super cool. You can mute a channel. You can turn your channel up and down, right? See, you got your little decibel rating, depending on what you need. This one is going to be for the other one. This one shows battery is good, battery is green, go for launch. And you got your little, it's connected. And then of course you have the second one. So if I pulled both of them out, now these are both connected and they both show up there. It's all like all kinds of magic is happening. For those of us that want like a professional setup, but don't want to have to deal with all the going in and playing around with settings and all that kind of stuff, there isn't any. There's a power. You can plug your headphones directly into this so that you can monitor it, so you can monitor your sound. You have your ability to change the level, and you have the ability to if I tap this, right, just move this so you guys, it'll light up. Tap. See it mute? Get the little mute microphone there. Tap. Back to rock and roll. And then on here, of course, you can have, there's your little headphone jacks. You guys can see the little headphone jack hopefully right there. Headphone jack, if you, no, not headphone jack, mic jack. So you can plug in one of those lavalier mics into it if you want. And then that's the actual microphone on both. And then when you're finished, you just snap, crackle, pop. And you can see that there. And on the front, you got the little green light saying it's all charging, right? And it shows there your case. My case is right now about 50%. Oh, this is a fantastic design. And how many of us have thrown our mics into our bag or whatever, and you know, the cables get all tied up and your mics, you can't find one of them because they're floating around in there. This is one of the best little designs I've run across. I think this is really cool. So what I'm going to do now is stop this camera, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change this. We're going to put this into here, and this is going to go, well, this is going to go onto me. All right, coming up. I'm excited. Hold on. All right, guys, so we've got this hooked up now. Now, the one thing I want you to kind of realize, when I was looking at the receiver, remember how I said, oh, it looks like it has a headphone jack on this side and a headphone jack on that side. It's not. It's a headphone jack on one, which is for monitoring, and then on the other side is a line out, which of course is what's going to go into your camera, and which is what it is right now. So all the audio that you're hearing right now is from this little guy right here. So I got this mic turned off. It's all good. This right here, you can see, has the one still in it, which is nice. So this means this should be recording in mono, which is good. Now the one thing, and I guess it all depends on what kind of shoes you have on your, or cold shoe you have on your camera. It does look like it only kind of goes in one way. But if you had an accessory shoe or something like that, you could spin it around, which would be my recommendation. Especially if you have something like a cage on your camera, then you could have it mounted however you feel. But you guys now can get an idea of the audio quality of this. My hope is that it sounds really good, because this is just, and it's not even overly like obtrusive. It's just there, you know. If it's sitting on your shirt like this and you were just kind of talking, it's not even that noticeable, especially with a black shirt. Now if you had a big white shirt, yeah, sure, that would be more noticeable. But I'm looking at the camera screen and I'm like, that's not too bad. It's all right. Now the question is, I wonder if I were to take one of their, we're not going to put one of these on, because that just doesn't make any sense, because there's no need for it. But let's stop the camera for a minute, and what we're going to do, just to change it up a little bit, is we're going to actually mount one of their little lav mics on and see how that sounds. All right, 2 more secs. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, my friends, so we've got the little lavalier plugged in right now. Yep, plugged in. So I don't know if it sounds any different at all, but same lights, green, power. You know, you got your blue saying that it's connected. It's got the microphone plugged into it, which means that right now we're using this microphone. So the real question is, well, does it sound any better? Does it sound any different? And in a scenario like this, I don't know. Now, the one thing is that when I hook this one up to this shirt, the microphone is pointing straight up at me. When I hook this one into my shirt, the microphone actually points off to the side. So on a t-shirt, this would probably work better because you slide it down, the mic's pointing up. On a shirt where you have like a button, then this probably works a bit better. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean though? Mic's pointing towards you. I think that makes sense. Anyways, I'm going to go take a listen to both of these clips right now, so I can see what I think sounds good, or if it sounds good at all. And we'll be right back with my final thoughts. All right, hold on. Okay, I have listened to the audio, and I'm going to say I think this is one of the better systems that I have had the opportunity to try. I like actually a lot the sound that comes out of it. I find with a lot of the lower end ones, at least in my opinion, they have a lot more of a lower hum or a lower muffle a little bit. These ones gotta have a nice clean sound, which means that if I want to boost up the bass or anything down the road, I can. Taking something that's a little muffled or bassy and taking that away, I find a little more difficult than the other way around. So, are they inexpensive? No. They are a little bit more on the pricey side, over $400 Canadian. But this is a professional setup, without question. This is a professional setup. Was the sound different between just using the box mic versus the lavalier? It's closer than you might think, actually. I did find, of course, having the lavalier a bit better, but I do also think it could have been the fact that just because the mic is pointing up toward my mouth versus off to the side. So wearing it in a t-shirt, let's say, scenario, it may be the opposite. But I like that they give you both options without question. You know, you can use the lavalier. They've got them both. You can use it just as the little box mic setup. And let's call it as it is. This charging setup here, that's fantastic. I've actually got it plugged in right now and it's charging. You'll see this goes orange when it's charging. And in here it doesn't really look any different. They just do their job, charge away. But it comes with everything. You know, everything that you could possibly need right there, all in there. Little wind muff if you're going to do stuff outside. And I think if Mary and I get some opportunities this year to travel, and I'm trying to get her doing some camera stuff off to the side, especially travel stuff, this may be really useful just for the fact that it's got 2 transmitters, right? And it's easy to set up. And for those of you that are looking at maybe even like an interview scenario, this is a perfect setup for that. You know, perfect setup. And let's call it as it is. This looks professional. You bring this out of your bag, you pop that open, you pull these out, they're all charged, everything's looking rock and roll, and there's no like configuration. The only configuration really that's there is how much gain you want to add. Right? How much gain? Now, I just wanted to show you guys this too, just real quick. I don't know if you can see it. So one of the little holes on this side, right? One of them is for your headphones. And then on the other side, this is your line. So it says right on them, line and phone. So just so you're aware. Now, if you're looking at this to plug into an actual cell phone, so like a smartphone, smartphones need like a TRRS cable. Now, I don't know if you had one of those already, if this would work, possibly, but out of the box, it doesn't come with that cable. So just kind of realize this is designed for a little more professional-based cameras. So I don't know if you guys can see it. There's my Canon RP right there, which is recording this shot, and my R6 that's recording the primary shot. So works beautifully with those. I'm not 100% sure if it would work with a smartphone, but possibly if you had a different cable, which you can easily get online. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you guys there. This is the HollyLand Lark 150. Here's the box. HollyLand Lark 150. Total win, love it. I can see myself using this a ton this coming year. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you there. Links down below if you're interested in this mic, because I think if you got the cash for it, very good. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little bell, and we will see you guys next video. Later, my friends. HollyLand. Oh yes. Oh yes.